There it is.
Welcome on in, everyone, to Let's Talk. Today we are going to preview Utah's game going down to Waco, Texas to play Baylor. And then we're going to get into some of the other Big 12 games this week as well. Let's start right away with Baylor. I think we've only played 2 times in our history, which were the last 2 years. Utah wins both kind of, weird games that involved quarterback switches. All curse games, honestly, but let's jump right into it. Landon, what do you think about this matchup with Baylor?
Yeah, so my initial thoughts, the line has been fluctuating from like Utah minus 7.5 up to Utah minus 10.5 at the highest, but I think there's going to be a hard-fought game potentially. It all depends on Baylor's ability to stop the run, and I guess just Utah's ability to generate offense just in general this game, because the last 2 times Utah has played Baylor, their defense was supposed to be not super good, but I honestly remember how they play their defense, that 3-4, it's really messed with Utah before, especially on offense. Like, they've had free rushers and just random stuff. Utah has not been able to run the ball like you would expect. So that's one thing that I'm going to be looking for early in this game to see if that issue is still there or maybe that left with Andy Ludwig.
Yeah, and I think a big thing that it's going to be a factor in this game is just Utah's man coverage. I mean, you do it more than anybody in the country. I mean, they bring it up every single broadcast. And I mean, Sawyer Robertson is absolutely an incredible quarterback. So can Utah's man coverage hold their own against these this really good wide receiver room for Baylor? I mean, the tight end room also for Baylor has had a lot of really great production this year. That's something I'm going to look at a lot, but it's going to be exciting to see. Like, at the Utah secondary has looked really, really solid the last 5-6 games. And it's been just, honestly the strength of the defense, which is something that I think we were all thinking the secondary is going to be excellent, but it's kind of been a standout to me. They've been amazing. So that's something I'm going to be watching all game.
Yeah, for sure. Just to get us started here, let's talk about how Utah's offense matches up with this Baylor defense here. I think that this is something that we all expect to go kind of Utah's favor. Baylor has not been a great rush defense this year, and Utah has been one of the elite running teams. So I think especially in that matchup in the trenches, that's something I'm looking for. A stat that I have, Utah's 7th best EPA per rush in the country. Baylor's defense 82nd against the rush. So that's a pretty huge gap. They're astronomical, at least for Power 4 teams. If you think of, how many Power 4 teams there are, Baylor's pretty significantly below that cutoff. So, I mean, not looking good for them.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I heard recently that if a team is struggling to stop the run in September, October, it usually just gets worse in November based on just the stats and how the metrics typically trend, because you get injuries, a bit more fatigue. Maybe the team doesn't have quite as much fight. So, yeah, for sure. That battle up front, offensive line versus defensive line and linebackers, that's something that I think should swing Utah's way in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you guys hit the right exactly what everybody's been talking about all week. It's this Utah run offense. They should be able to do whatever they want all game. But that's the big if. Can they continue to do it? It's this Baylor team has always given us really, like Tanner said in the beginning, and Lance said in the beginning, very tricky schemes. I mean, David Aranda's done very well hiding some really unique schemes, especially when he faces Utah. And we've always struggled with it. So it's going to be interesting to see how Beck handles that 3-4 and allows us to see if we can get Wayshawn and Bray on the outside and let Devin kind of cook like he has been the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is definitely, like you guys have both mentioned, stylistically like a very old school Big 12 versus old school Pac-12 kind of matchup. Different clash of styles for sure there. Something else that sticks out to me is that Baylor has been, this is probably related to the run defense. Baylor has been terrible on the early downs EPA, which means they're allowing their opponents a lot of success on early downs. And as we've seen, that's something that Utah has really done a good job of this year is, staying in front of the sticks, basically. I think that's something to look out for as well. Wayshawn Parker, Witt kind of in his press conference this week mentioned Wayshawn is RB1. He started to separate himself from Nakari Rogers, which I mean, I think that was obvious from,
Yeah, come on
week
now.
one, honestly. I think Nakiri's been okay, but I won't give him more than that. I mean, he was a backup at a, you know, G5 school.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that since I think the beginning that Wei Shun should be getting the most touches, and then when Bray came onto the scene, it's been Wei Shun and Bray. I like Macquarie as much as the next guy. I think he's been really, really effective for Utah, especially in the red zone. Like that short yardage package that Utah brings in, he's been effective there. But that's all he can do. That's all his elite skill is. Is just okay. Look at the hole that the offensive line has created. Part of the Red Sea for me. Let's go walk through it. Like that's what he can do. But anyways, that's beside the point. Like I think guys like Wei Shun and Daniel Bray, like that's going to be the key factors for this game. Like if these two guys can and create those big plays that they have been for Utah the last few weeks, and really the explosive play that Utah's been lacking offensively the whole all season long. You bring in Daniel Bray, and that's kind of changed. He's been the explosive play machine, and I
So
want
has
to continue to
Wayshawn,
see that for
honestly.
Baylor.
Wayshawn has a
Yeah.
knack for these explosive runs. He's really talented at that.
In two 100-yard games in a row, 145 versus Colorado, 104 versus Cincy. He's really starting to come into his own.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Ethan. If you got anything, continue.
Like, that's just someone that like since the beginning, since his first snap. I mean, you've been on him since day one, man. And as soon as Daniel Bray walked on the field, it's
dude.
like that guy is a superstar. Get him the ball, and he's done he's done everything to prove you right. And I'm hopping on that train as soon as it leaves the station and going, dude. He's
Dude,
awesome.
He's the type of guy I genuinely had to see only one carry, and I was like, "Yep, he's really good."
What was it? His first carry versus West Virginia, where he did like that in-out
Yes,
cut,
I
and just
did. I remember
totally
watching
toasted
highlights.
that West Virginia guy.
I screen recorded that and I sent it to you guys in our group chat, where I was like, "This guy is gonna be a star."
Yeah, that is some insane movement ability for
I
sure.
remember RG3. He was on the broadcast. He was like, "Oh, I like this Daniel Bray kid they just brought in," and I was like, "So do I, dude. So do I."
With his usage, I'd like to see him out of the backfield a little bit more too. Like throw him a couple, swing passes, make him a check down option. I'm not sure how his pass blocking is. Maybe that's what's holding them back from giving him a traditional handoff, but I just want his role expanded, eventually. I mean, probably this week. I'm sure it's impossible to watch Utah's film and not be like, okay, watch out for Bray on the jet sweep,
Yeah,
Got to find something new
we've
for him.
actually been seeing that. Cincinnati, first possession, second play, we actually threw a little bit of like a wheel route / swing pass to Daniel Bray, and he was able to get like a good 8-yard gain on that. So I think that's something that Jason Beck has been putting in. And on that same topic, I think the game plan against Cincinnati is super encouraging going forward. The broadcast is going to be beating it to death. I think most Utah fans going into this game are going to be thinking like, run, run, run. I'm not going to be surprised if we actually see a decent amount of deep passes. Like, the run was working against Cincinnati, and their coach, Scott Satterfield, actually, after the game, he mentioned this. He said, man, they were making it really tough on our defense because we didn't just have to guard them horizontally. We had to guard them vertically as well, and we had to respect that deep threat, and that lightens up the box. And so he said it was just like an impossible situation. I honestly think that's going to continue, and I wouldn't be shocked if Dampier has one of his best games through the air potentially against Baylor, just because they're going to be so focused on the run.
Yeah, someone to look out for, Ryan Davis. Like all season long, he's been getting open, and that's Dampier's favorite target. I mean, I don't see why he won't have another game where he did last week, I guess 2 weeks ago against Cincinnati, with a career game.
Yeah, I think that both of your points are super valid. I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, not the best Dampier game. Like his completion percentage was lower. It was actually the opposite to my eye. I thought it was one of his better games, actually, despite the lower completion percentage. I just don't think it matters that much when you're throwing deep enough to soften the box, which I think we clearly did. Like, I loved that game plan. Like, I'm totally willing to live with the incomplete to really make them think about, like you mentioned, Landon, both horizontally and vertically. I think that's totally worth it to me. It's what we should be doing.
Well, even his interception, it's like, dude, looking back, that was like 2nd and 24. We had like a huge negative play, And like he threw an interception. It might have been third down actually. I think it might have been third even. He throws it. They catch it at like the 3 yard line, run a few yards. They get the ball back at their own 7, and then they just go 3 and out. Like sometimes interceptions, obviously it's never good to turn the ball over. But if that's the price for stretching that defense, that's totally fine.
Oh, I would totally pay that as well. It reminds me of Dampier's game last year against Utah State, where he threw 3 interceptions, 2 of which were like pretty bad. And they still scored like 55 points.
Yes, exactly.
Because they had that deep threat and they hit those explosive plays. Like you can still run effective offense. Like you don't have to be petrified of turnovers.
I'll make one prediction right now for the ball knowers. I guarantee Jackson Benny scores a touchdown on offense this game. We saw him against Cincinnati. He was open on that route with Dallin Bentley. They kind of fought each other for it. I'm putting it down right now. I feel like you see this with offensive coordinators. They're not going to go away from it. They're going to do it maybe more, if anything. He'll score a touchdown this game against Baylor on a deep pass.
Like he's honestly one of the guys I feel most confident. He gets open every time.
Oh, he gets so
and you
open.
Can go, Ethan.
It's just like talking about like Devin's passing. It's like, yeah, he had like low completion percentage, quote unquote, for Devin Dampier, but he's at an 80 QBR. I mean, 79.2, but I'm running up. I mean, that's still a really good game. 16 for 31. I mean, it's a little bit over 50%, and I mean, 213 yards. That's a great game. Like, especially for Utah offense that focuses on the run. I mean, we ran the ball 53 times against Cincinnati.
Wow.
Like, and we averaged 5 yards per carry with a few people that kind of bringing that down and with like 2.5s and 3.1s. And so it's like that's a really impressive like situation. I would love to see more of like 40 passing attempts and 40 rushing attempts against this Baylor team.
Yeah. One thing I will say that Baylor has going for it, Tobias Merriweather's not on the injury report. He's available to play. And so, could be advantage Baylor on that.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of think he's lost his spot to JJ, if I'm being real with you. Like, I don't think he plays that much on Saturday.
Yeah, it was more in satire, but yeah.
Something someone in the wide receiver room, or speaking of the wide receiver room, that I kind of want to see a little more of. I mean, we saw an awesome play against Cincinnati is Creed Whittemore. I mean, he does have that Ryan Davis role where like they're both smaller slot guys that just kind of create separation in the short yardage. I mean, that play specifically was super impressive. And then Witt coming out and saying like, dude, he was going to be playing, but he just struggled with catching the ball and holding onto the ball. And as soon as he gets the playing time, he makes it worth. Like he could just be a big time player and like just shows up when the game's time happens.
Yeah. Should we move on to Utah's defense versus Baylor's offense?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
The thing that sticks out to me right away is Baylor's quality drive rate, which is 12th best in the country. This is a little surprising to me because looking at the other stats, they only have the 50th best EPA per rush and the 52nd best EPA per dropback, which kind of doesn't make sense. Like, how are they having so many quality drives?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I think about it and I'm thinking, chunk plays, explosive plays, down to down, maybe they're not extremely successful, but the talent that they have on offense with Trigg at wide receiver, some Trigg at tight end, and then some of the wide receiver talent they have, they're able to create chunk. Yeah, Josh Cameron, they're totally able to create chunk plays. And I think that's why they have such a high quality drive rate.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It's like down to down, you might not be getting, whatever qualifies as a successful play. I think it's, what is it, like 3.6 yards or something? They give you like a successful play.
I think it's on first and second down, it's 50% of the yardage for a first down, and then on third down, it's getting the first down.
Okay, that makes total sense. But yeah, when you're throwing downfield, you're going to have more incompletions, more 0-yard gains. But when you hit those ones, say you complete that 30-yard pass, I think that already would qualify as like a quality drive.
Yeah, you just have to get inside your opponent's 40, and then it's a quality drive, is like what the stat is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like these pass catchers for Baylor are impressive, man. Like, I mean,
they spread the ball around, bro. They have a lot of guys with big numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go 4 guys with over 30 receptions, 5 guys with over 20. I mean, their top 5 pass catchers all have over four touchdowns. Like they're impressive. it's gonna be a test for the secondary and the linebackers, especially with Trigg, how effective he's been all year. I'd love to see John Hall on him a lot in the coverage with his safety background. That's something I think is going to be someone to look out for. I think John could have a big game if Utah's defense is what I think they can be. Again, this is something like this is the game to make a statement. I think Scally, where we're at and with the college football applications, like this is the most important game where the defense needs to show up and kind of show like, oh, we can hang with these elite of the elite offenses that Baylor. I truly think Baylor's offense is one of the top of the country. Like Tanner shot, like those statistics show, like they are very efficient, very effective, and if Utah's defense can hold them, it's gonna be a great statement, especially to the committee that I think we're trying to impress.
Yeah, I think a lot of this matchup is going to hinge on Baylor's offensive line, truthfully. I think Scally's going to come out. I mean, the last 2 weeks against Cincinnati and Colorado has just been unbelievable blitzing. Like, extremely high blitz rates that just don't even seem like real that you can play a game that way, but it's completely worked the last 2 games. I think Scally's going to come out, maybe not as aggressive, but I do think he's going to try and blitz, play that man coverage, jam the wide receivers. I think a lot of this game is going to depend on if their offensive line can properly identify the blitzes that are coming and then how well they can hold up in the pocket, because Robertson can move, but he's not like, you wouldn't describe him as a dual threat quarterback. He would be more of like a pocket passer. He can move. I'm really interested to see what Utah's pass rush, which has been super good the last few weeks, what they can do against Baylor.
Yeah, I feel like we did have a really great mix of like blitz and then just keeping our like standard 4-man front. We've been one of the best teams in the country with like time to pressure as far as just 4-man front. And their tackles have allowed a lot of pressures and like I wouldn't say like a crazy amount of sacks, but like more pressures than sacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's somewhere they're vulnerable as well.
I mean, 16 sacks on the season for this offensive line. It's something to look into. They're giving up at least what that's like 1 point something a game, which is, I mean, it's something with Utah's edges like Logan Fano and John Henry Daly. Like if they can get some pressure, that's going to be a big factor.
Yeah, John Henry has truly developed into being like a superstar. He is such an impactful playmaker. Dude, I haven't considered this until now. I think Utah's going to have to fight extremely hard to keep him in the portal. He might be one of our highest.
Dude, I'm just hoping he doesn't declare for the draft. Dude.
Ooh, that's true, actually.
I just hope he doesn't pull a Vaki, where like Vaki went too early.
A year
like
early.
He goes a year early. Like stay a little bit longer. I think he'll stay. I feel pretty good about him staying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, like the top like pass rushers in college football, it's senior. John Henry Daly, sophomore, senior.
It's unbelievable.
It's like, oh my gosh, this kid is a stud.
His emergence is crazy.
It came out of nowhere. Like I know he was going to be like that was my big concern at the beginning of the season. It's like, who's going to be the number 2? Like Logan, like obviously he's our D-end 1. Then John Henry Daly, PhD, came out of nowhere. And now he's like the stud. It's like, hey, like I think it shows like how good Logan is, honestly, though, because he like highlights like his counterparts so well. Like the same thing happened to Jonah Ellis. Like,
yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I was thinking the same. It was funny, like before the season, like we weren't even sure Daly was going to start. It was like, Cash Dillon
like,
maybe,
I like Lance Holtzclaw might be the guy.
Yeah.
Paul Fitzgerald. I was like, dude, Paul Fitzgerald is for sure like the number 2. Like,
yeah,
he did get injured.
His production.
So,
I mean, we go in there and we get like 2-3 transfer guys on the edge, defensive ends, like that kind of like, oh, like who's going to be the guy that kind of shows up. And I mean, it was JHD. And good on him, man.
Yeah, like Landon. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was just to kind of jump off Landon real quick when he was talking about like the blitz package. It just shows like how like much trust Scally has in that secondary. Like as soon as Jackson Benny like switched over to that full-time safety position on defense instead of being like in that nickel and allowing Smith to go back to his natural position, like. The blitzing has improved. The secondary has just been out of this world.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to go to next. We
Oh,
have the
sweet.
12th best EPA per dropback. It really feels like as soon as we found Benny at safety, that everything has just locked into place defensively. Like it's our coverage has been so good. Like every part of our team has improved when we just found the right spots for guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that makes sense. Like we had a team that was like kind of unproven. We had lost quite a bit, I think, especially on the defensive line. And so it just took some tinkering, it just took some time, and then we locked in and we've been elite since then.
Dude, yeah, talking about people that recently got found, Don Saunders better be playing a lot.
Yeah,
Did
that
he
was
That
amazing.
was
did he
very
go what, like
impressive.
0 of 4 passing when they targeted him and he played like 1.5 quarters or like 1 quarter? Like they genuinely didn't complete a pass on him.
Well, and it wasn't like he got lucky. Like he was like running the route
No.
for them, dude. Like
They
it
went
was
right
genuinely
at
elite.
him. He got subbed in. Smith, he kind of got burned on that route, and they were saying there might be some sort of like little injury or something. Nothing big. Dude, they put Don Saunders in there. They tried to go right at him. They couldn't get any separation at all. It was
Nothing.
the best coverage I've seen all year from anyone.
Mhm.
Like it's the kind of
I mean,
coverage
another
that just it's the kind of coverage they throw the ball and you're like, "Oh my gosh, why would they even throw that?" Like no
Yeah.
chance.
It's what Blake Cotton's been doing all year,
And
man.
it's like one-on-one. It's really impressive.
Like somebody like I also like someone that's kind of came out of nowhere the last few weeks. I want to highlight Trey Reynolds, linebacker room. I mean, he came
Yes.
into that Colorado game when I think Lander had to sit out for the first half, and he looked. I mean, some of the best linebacker play all year, and then I mean, Lander come back in and he played well. But Trey, like, he's definitely earned those minutes that he's been getting a lot more. That was the one I was like, why is he in the game? Like, I would love to see more Jono there. I'd love to see more Lander there. But I mean, he's coming. He's really looked really well. Like he's
Yeah.
kind of filled in that like Karenni Reed role a little bit more, like that I
Yeah,
think
I,
we were missing throughout the year.
I do wonder if this is a good spot for him. Like this seems like a pretty good matchup for him in my opinion. Like kind of the side to side, like you can put him on the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Maybe a little bit more lateral in a way that Barton has, lost a little bit. But yeah, I think this may be a good matchup for Reynolds.
Yeah, going back a little bit more about some of these Baylor players on offense. Bryson Washington, their number one RB, breakout freshman last year. They found him later in the year. He was really dominating. I'm not saying this trying to be like a hater or something. I feel like he's gained a little bit of weight and potentially lost a step in speed. Like last year, he kind of looked like Wei Sean, but he's kind of looking like Tavion this year, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well,
But
he went from I think 5.9 to 4.8 yards per carry. So he's 1.1 yards per
still,
carry drop off.
yeah, it's just he doesn't look to have the same, I don't know, just like burst in my opinion. So I'm not super worried about him. He is a quality running back, I believe. And I wasn't saying like Tavion Thomas for Utah was not a bad running back. That guy was great. I was just talking more about physique wise, getting bigger. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
Bryson
mean,
Washington, it's an all-time classic, the Tavion arc to end his career. That was crazy.
that spring game, bro. He looked like a offensive line.
Dude,
Yeah.
that spring game, if you guys were there, you know what we're talking about. When Tavion played like one play in the spring game and fumbled, and he looked like he was huge, and he never played again after that. Like he actually quit the team.
Freshman
He left the
Lander
team.
just destroying him.
But
It
yeah,
was so funny.
I'm not super worried about Bryson Washington. That's someone that I was worried about, but I don't think he'll be a huge factor in this game.
Honestly, my biggest worry for this is Josh Cameron. Like, just watching any game with Baylor, it's like this guy is just
He looks kind of like
is
Jeremiah
great.
Smith. I don't like.
Yeah.
He's got kind
He's
of
good,
like
man.
wide shoulder, but like really fast build.
Their receivers are like the type of receivers I would kill to have at Utah. Like, how
Oh
did they
my
find
God.
that talent?
They
Like,
got so
those
many
guys are
good
so
guys.
good. Yeah. I honestly that's the matchup I think I'm most excited to watch. Like, that's strength on strength. Like, if you can't appreciate that as like a football
Yeah.
fan, that's so good.
Like Blake Cotton
Yeah, I mean,
versus it's gonna be so good. Versus like Josh Cameron, like they both are kind of bigger, like athletic guys. It's gonna be a good matchup.
Trig is like kind of a mismatch. Like, how do we cover him? Like
Yeah.
Ethan mentioned Jono. I think that might be good. Maybe you even bring a safety down on him like Benny or Teo. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a chess match, I think. I think Scally's going to have to cook up something pretty good for these
Yeah.
well,
weapons.
that's an interesting thought. Like, I mean, Trig with Benny. I mean, Benny's been such a sure tackler since he's been moved over to safety. Like, I like that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
More I think about
You'd
it.
have to play pretty aggressively in the box. You've got to just deny the ball in that scenario, because you don't love having your safety
He's-
tackling this big. Trig breaks tackles like crazy.
Yeah.
This dude runs
Oh,
after
yeah.
the
For
catch,
sure.
bad. So like, I don't love having a smaller body on him, but I mean, Benny is pretty big. He's like 6'2", and he's a pretty good tackler.
Yeah, but like you just got to think like, what if our linebackers can't keep up with them, and then our safety's got to tackle them anyways?
yeah,
you
exactly.
Know? Like,
yeah, see,
Well, that's what I think. Like
something
Trey
interesting.
Reynolds, like that's a big factor because like he's like he has, like you said, he has that lateral quickness that like Landers kind of like lost. I think if that's gonna be a big thing, if like Trey can get that separation from our linebackers, it can be a long day for the secondary because they're gonna have to like take on that assignment as well, which I think we'd rather have our linebackers do.
Do you guys think
Yeah,
Utah
this
will
is-
generate any turnovers this game?
I think they will. I was just about to say, this is like a game where I don't think you should overuse this, but I think you should definitely have a couple like disguise zones sometime. Like I think
Yeah.
that is like, especially when guarding 1v1 versus these guys is so hard down to down. Occasionally sprinkle in a little bit of zone. I think you can generate a turnover off that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think this is the best wide receiver room we've faced this season. Like I think that's pretty comfortable to say. I think the secondary has played awesome. Like we played some really good guys, like Texas Tech, obviously. I mean, Cincinnati's had some studs. But these like Cameron and Trig, and then I mean, there's one guy who was the other guy? I think it was Hawkins. There was a game where we were watching.
That guy.
Yeah, it was a game we were watching,
forever.
and it was Cameron and Hawkins has had like maybe 4 drives where they did anything they wanted, and it was like some of the most impressive wide receiver play I've seen all year. And I was like, I don't know how we're going to stop these guys. And then I saw like their defense. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe we can score some points. But like,
Yeah. Any final thoughts on our defense versus Baylor's offense? Nothing? Okay, let's move on to X factors for this game. For me, I think this is pretty simple, but it's literally just, can Utah just like control the game with the run? Like, I think that there are a lot of factors that you're like, oh, that could potentially go one way or the other. But like, I really don't see Utah losing this game if they can run effectively. Like, I just don't see the path there to how they lose if that's like the case.
Yeah, that completely makes sense to me. Like, it's just hard to imagine a scenario where Utah's running for, say, like 6 or more yards per carry and somehow they lose the game. Just doesn't feel like it would happen. My X factor, though, I'm going to go on the other side of the ball. I'm going to go specific player, John Henry Daly.
Ooh.
If he is getting pressure, if he's having a big game with sacks, it's kind of the inverse. I don't see how Baylor's offense is going to function. If they can't block and pass protect, their whole offense falls apart.
I mean, I'll just take the easy pick, and then we'll say Devin Dampier, man. Like
Always.
if he can do and have a similar game to his Cincinnati production, or his I guess the Cincinnati production, it's gonna be a good game. And obviously, like that, talking about Devin, you guys, so it's like Beck kind of in there as well. It's like this is another big game that Utah's needs to make a statement, and I'm hoping that this coaching staff understands how important it is for the committee to see like, oh, this team's legit. I think they do understand it, truthfully, especially with that statement that we had against Cincinnati. But it's always a concern with a Coach Whittingham led coaching staff.
Yeah, taking your foot off the gas.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, we don't know the injury status of Dampier either. Like, he was a little bit hobbled versus like Cincinnati, and obviously missed the game before that, Colorado. But I mean, he should be fine now. I would expect
Yeah,
bye
I was
week,
listening
right?
to
Like
the weekly interview that he does, and he said that he was feeling good. Like, it wasn't really a topic of conversation, like his injury. He said he was feeling good. So I think he'll be completely healthy, I believe. 100%.
Okay. You guys ready for picks? Pick the game?
Let me think for a second.
Okay, I can go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I think this Baylor team has a lot of talent, especially at the wide receiver position. And like, I think that this is a roster that like I really respect, but I think that there's one that just has holes in it. And unfortunately for them, I think the holes just like coincide exactly with what Utah is so dominant at. Like, when's the last time we've like been able to run effectively on a team and like lost a game? It's been like forever, I feel like. And so with that in mind, I think that road environment, it's interesting. You know, we haven't really gone on the road or left the state of Utah in a long time. But I'm going Utah here, and I'm going kind of a big win. I think they need the CFP like visual, you know, like this is a team that still has a decent power rating. So I think if Utah goes in and takes care of business, and I mean honestly more than takes care of business, you know, blows them out, I think that helps their at-large chances. So I'm gonna go 42-17 Utah.
You guys know me. Last week I said, or well, I guess this was 2 weeks ago at this point because of the bye week, Utah either loses a close game or they blow them out. And so against Cincinnati, I predicted 42-10, and it was 45-14. I'm pretty much staying on the same boat here. I was looking, for some reason, it seems like Baylor always scores like 20 points if they lose. So I'm going 45-20 for Utah.
Yeah, I'm in a very similar boat. My thought process was 23-45. I think Utah's defense is going to be able to hold them for a while, but it's not some great offense, so they're going to be able to score some points. And but I think we're able to run all over them like we've been predicting all game.
Okay, should we move on to the Big 12 preview for this week?
Let's do it. Oh, shoot. The only one that's not ready. Watch this.
Okay. We ready?
One moment. The quick fix right here. You're getting the behind the scenes preview right now. Okay, nice.
There we go.
Ready to go.
There we go. Okay, let's talk about the Big 12, Week 12 of the Big 12. 6 games this week. Let's start off with the first game of the day, Arizona at Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming off, you know, pretty terrible loss to Utah. You know, I think most people saw that one. Arizona actually coming off a loss to, or did they beat Kansas, didn't they, last week? Yes, so they beat Kansas coming off a win against Kansas. Pretty good game for them.
Arizona sneaky 6-3.
Yeah, like it's not a terrible team. Like they're playing pretty good. A lot of people did not think
they'd get above like 3 wins this year. Like sneaky 6-3 right now.
Yeah, Cincinnati only less than a touchdown favorite at home. What do you guys think of this game?
Them being less than a touchdown favorite, I think, is a little bit of an overreaction. They've been handling teams of Arizona's caliber this entire year, like pretty much blowing them out of the water. I've got Cincinnati here, win and cover, in my opinion. I just think they'll have a bounce back game. Arizona, I don't believe, has the personnel or will even attempt to try and replicate what Utah did. I think this will be, I mean, I assume Cincinnati will have Evan Pryor back as well at running back. I think that was a pretty big loss for them. But yeah, regardless, even if he isn't back, I do think Cincinnati still pulls this one off.
I think it's going to be a shootout, man. Both these pretty high-powered offenses with not the greatest defensive mindsets, I guess, for lack of a better word. I do think Cincinnati will pull it off, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona win, obviously, with the line kind of sharing that same sentiment.
Yeah, I actually love Cincinnati in this spot. Having 2 weeks to sit on like kind of a terrible loss where you got like pretty much beaten in every phase, and coming at home against a team that like you can get the team motivated to like get up for them. You know, if it was like Oklahoma State coming in who's 1-8, you know, maybe they're not as hyped, but I think this is like a legitimate threat to them. And so I love this spot for Cincinnati. I'm going to take them to win and cover.
One thing I want to touch on as well, they got a new injection of life with that BYU loss also. Because they're saying, hey, BYU has a loss now. If we just beat them, we're in the conference championship. So just win out and beat BYU.
They control their destiny. They control their destiny.
Exactly.
Very
so
simple
I
for them.
think that's going to motivate them a little bit more even.
They have a lot to play for. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on to Kansas State at Oklahoma State. I don't have a ton to say here. I think Kansas State has been playing actually pretty good after a 1-3 start. Like, I'm actually impressed by how they held the team together. And I mean, I feel bad for Oklahoma State, but they're just pretty hopeless this year. Like, no talent, no coaching, really. I mean, nothing going for them. So Kansas State pretty easily.
Guys, I'm not letting myself be afraid. 19.5. That's the number that Kansas State is favored by. I've got Oklahoma State winning this one.
No way.
I'm telling you, I think it will just be an Avery Johnson disaster game. They won't be locked in. It's going to be like an ugly game, like a 17-14 win, or maybe even like a 10-7 win or something for Oklahoma State. Like, I think Kansas State will play like they did against North Dakota, but they won't be able to come back at the very end and win it. I truly have Oklahoma State here. They have to win a Big 12 game at some point. It's been like 2 years.
I don't know.
They have to win a Big 12 game at some point. They have to win one. They're 0-6 in the Big 12 this year. They've got to win one of these eventually.
It would be crazy if next year they go in not having won a Big 12 game in 3 years. That would be crazy.
It's impossible. They have to win this game, I think. Like, at home, this might be the chance. Like, Kansas State's been a team, they've shot themselves in the foot against some teams this year already. Like, this has to be it.
I mean, when you have an offense where you have 6 total passing touchdowns, it's a little hard to like. That's kind of
so
rough,
bad.
dude. When your starting quarterback has 1 passing touchdown more than one of your wide receivers, it's like, this is kind of depressing. So I don't know. I don't think they can score points, bro. Like, Kansas State, this is a team that's been super interesting. They've looked really, really good, and they've looked really, really bad. I mean, like Tanner said, they have looked better as the season progresses, but I do think they're gonna win this game. This Oklahoma State team is just god awful.
Okay, West Virginia at Arizona State. I can't lie. If I was a Sun Devils fan, I would be afraid of this one. West Virginia is on a win streak. They've won 2 in a row. Revelation at quarterback, Scotty Fox Jr.
Fox, dude.
I don't know.
He's
I
the
don't know.
truth.
I'm seeing something here. I'm seeing something here. What about you guys?
I do have ASU winning this, but I think it's actually going to be a competitive game. Like, they found something on offense with Scotty Fox Jr. at West Virginia. There's a little bit of momentum. Arizona State, Sam Leavitt out. Is Dillingham leaving? Is Dillingham going to go to one of these SEC schools? I don't think that will be enough for West Virginia to go in there and get the win, but I think it will be closer. So I would honestly go like Arizona State to win, but not to cover that 10.5, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think Arizona State can squeak out the win, especially getting this West Virginia team at home. But I mean, the line being at 10.5, like, as of right now, like, it's tempting to put some money down on West Virginia to cover.
I'm not betting on West Virginia, bro. No matter what they've done.
I'm not saying I'm betting on West Virginia. I'm saying it's like, that's just like a tempting like line. If people like, ooh, that's interesting. I don't.
I think I'm gonna go West Virginia. Upset
just outright.
I like it.
Just outright. I think so.
Dude.
I think the Dillingham stuff is gonna get in their heads. I think West Virginia's been playing good. I'm riding with the Mountaineers.
Yeah.
UCF at Texas Tech. Texas Tech's favored by 24.5, which is honestly a huge number over a team that's like near 500. It's a huge number. But I mean, I can't say I disagree. I mean, I just don't see how UCF scores here. Like, if they score 2 touchdowns, I think I'd be genuinely surprised if it wasn't like Texas Tech just like puts in their backups, in the 3rd quarter or something.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Baron Morton doesn't decide to just like not throw the ball like he was last week, where he would just sit there for 5 seconds until they sacked him and he was like getting injured. Like, bro, you're the only QB they have left. As long as he doesn't get injured and do that during this game, I don't see how UCF could possibly win this. Like, Texas Tech's defense is just too good. Like, is UCF even going to score?
No, I mean, it's debatable.
It's got to be like 50%. It's like a shutout, truthfully.
Right. I think the magic number is like 17. Like, if Texas Tech scores 17 points, like, they win the game.
It's over. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's like, and nothing against UCF. This Texas Tech defense is just special, bro. They're incredible. Texas Tech winning. I mean, it's the line is generous for UCF, if I'm being.
Okay, let's move on to the nightcap, the shortest spread of the day. Only BYU minus 3.5 at home against TCU, late game. BYU, obviously completely non-competitive against Tech last week. Could not move the ball, really couldn't do anything. Did not look like they belonged on the same field. Can they bounce back here? TCU, terrible game against Iowa State, got beaten there. So, I mean, neither team coming in with a ton of positive momentum here.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting game. I'm gonna say something, and it's gonna sound like I'm implying one team is a lot better, but I'm honestly not. BYU will either get blown out or they will barely win, and there's a 90% chance they barely win. So I'm going BYU here to win, maybe not even cover, maybe cover. I could see like a 4-point win, but there's like a 90% chance they win by, well, just 90% chance they win in general, and then it's a 100% chance it's within like one score. So I've got BYU winning in this one.
This one's it's like, if I'm a BYU fan, this is a game I'm scared of. I mean, this is strength on weakness for a TCU offense and this BYU defense. I mean, you kind of saw it a little bit against Texas Tech. I mean, they weren't able to throw the ball super well, but like this BYU secondary isn't like anything like to write home about. And this TCU offense can throw the damn ball, and so that's something I'd be concerned about. Honestly, this is kind of like, who is BYU? Because like with that Tech game, it's like, okay, did they get exposed here? Like they struggled with like their only tough game before the Tech with the Utah game. They pulled out the win, and then they kind of go out against a Texas Tech team. It's like they couldn't, like Tanner said, did not belong in the same field. This TCU team is not bad, and they can score some points. And I think this will be a true test to see, like, is this BYU team legit? And can they recover from that ass whooping that they had against Tech?
I see this one as like the classic game where like TCU just like turns the ball over, and it turns like what would have been like a win or like a competitive game into like a competitive loss. I think that BYU, like they always do, just going to spam linebacker blitz, and they're probably going to sack Hoover, probably going to get a couple interceptions, and then it's just over from there. Like they'll look like extremely unimpressive, but like they'll probably win.
These
just
teams
like
fall for it every time,
basically.
man. I'm already predicting right now. They'll have a guy lined up like at defensive end, like Jack Kelly, like he's blitzing. He'll drop into zone coverage, and they'll throw it directly to him just for an interception. It happens every game. Like
it's like these guys beat Colorado by 3. Like
it's shocking. But
Colorado is like one of the worst teams.
Some more interesting stuff about TCU. 2 of their losses were by 3 points only, by a field goal. Last week against Iowa State, and then at Arizona State. That kind of tells me something. They only lost by 3, and Arizona State had to come back from down like 17 that game.
I think TCU is a team that is one of the most talented teams in the Big 12, like probably top 3, but they just don't always play up to that talent.
Something really interesting, actually. I don't have the exact number in front of me. TCU has actually had like a well above average run defense, and then obviously a well above average passing offense. And I would honestly say those are BYU's. That's honestly, you need that good run defense against BYU. They can't really pass, so if you can stop the run, that's great. And BYU secondary has been pretty questionable this year.
Yeah, that's it for me on the TCU BYU one.
That's everything for me as
well. Thank you all for watching.
It's going to be crazy, man. That's a big game. I'm excited to see what happens, bro.
See it. Sweet. See you guys next week.